What's up, peeps? Thanks for joining me. My name's Damon Warren, and this is Day One Adventures. And today's adventure, we are in Delaware at the Winterthur Museum. It is an estate, another one of those mansions, gigantic place. They have, I don't know, I'll give you the stats and all that stuff. But the important thing is, today is free. It's Discover Winterthur Day. So you go to the website, you sign up, and you get free admission. Normally the admission is like about $26. And then they have different specials like on a Tuesday or different things. But today's completely free. So they opened up at 10 o'clock. It's 10:15. Gonna walk around, give you a little tour, show you everything that's here. So, time for an adventure. So this is located right off of Route 52, right past Greenville if you're coming from Wilmington. When you pull in, you go straight back, and then there's the parking. There's a big parking lot. Show you what the parking lot looks like right there. So it's a nice big parking lot. And the way this is set up, they actually have buses and trams that take you to the main estate. This is just like where you park and get everything ready. There's a visitor center and everything that's down there. This is the visitor center right down there. Welcome to Winterthur Henry Francis du Pont Museum and Country Estate. You are invited to enjoy our gardens, museum, galleries, period rooms, library, stores, restaurant, and special exhibitions. This is like a little nature retreat. And would you believe that this place is, let's say 15 minutes away from Wilmington? These are the different flowers that are in bloom. They have the time that they are available. And a little bit of the history there. These are the different tours. So you got your self-paced house tour, your gallery. There's the library. Got your barcode so you can load up the information. Focus on ceramics. They're really big about ceramics here. And there's your guide right there. Designated path. Don't pick the flowers. Leave your balls, frisbee, drones, kites, and all that other stuff. This is not one of those kind of places. Take pictures and tag. Bring a picnic to enjoy. These are the June blooms, so you can actually see a picture of what's in bloom during the different seasons. So you got the June, July, August, we're finishing up right now. And if you didn't know what the name of some of these are, that also helps. And this is the different seasonal things. Here's some information. 175 rooms of historical architecture and furnishings. 90,000 masterpieces of American antiques and decorative arts. 1,000 acres of rolling hills, streams, meadows, and woodlands, a 60-acre world-renowned garden, more than 200 programs, events, and family activities annually, special exhibitions in the galleries, more than 1 million library items spanning 400 years of American history, design, and culture. Got your barcode right there. Just scan that and get some more information. Discover the benefits. There's the social media links right there for inspiration all year long. All right. Let's head on in. And see, they just opened up and this parking lot was pretty much empty when I pulled up. And you're getting a nice steady crowd today. Now, they have some handicap parking down here and also a drop-off. So for the people, because there's a lot of walking, so you can pull in down at the lower end and then drop people off and come around. This is the Welcome Center. I think I better go for it while I can. Oh, thank you, thank you. Here we have the Welcome Center. Give you a quick look around the Welcome Center here. "25 miles of walking." There's a map of the whole joint right there. 1,000 acres. So as you can see on the map, this is where we're at right now. You catch the bus or the tour thing, there's the main house right there. That is the main house. And then you got the Enchanted Woods over there. That's kind of cool. They got it's like a little whimsical thing. That's nice. But that's the size of the place right there. So there's a lot of different things you can come here for. The antiques, if you like the antiques and the history. Cultural heritage and such. Elegant Adventure. All right.
Yeah, we did have one. Let me
Look. And we have some lockers over here. This is cool. You got your restroom here. That's over there. Oh, these are not for people lockers. That's for their stuff lockers. All right. All right. So if you don't have your tickets already, you can go around here and check in and everything. There we go. Today at Winterthur, Saturday on Discover Winterthur Day. All right. Give you some shot of that. All right. Here's the cafe. I'm not sure what time the cafe opens up. Okay. I don't think I've ever walked in the cafe, but here's the cafe. Got a nice little cafe here. Feels like I need to get a croissant. A croissant. So you can, if you don't bring any food, you can get yourself a nice little box lunch right there. Ham and cheddar on a brioche, 14. 12 to 14 for the boxes. You got some muffins. Oh, those are fancy croissants. There we go. A little bit of some whole fruit. Oh, they got some Woodside Creamery. And this is the hot station and everything. That's not open yet. And they have adult beverages, or, you know, beverages with a kick, let's say. Some blondies, little snacks. Pick up your snacks. You want to go walking around here and get the tinsels. Nice airy place right here. And they have a little veranda out here. Let's see what we got going on out here. Looks like it's like a little table. So let's all right, so and look at this. Rainbow Coralie. Oh, so we got the band getting ready to kick it. And as you can see, this is a lot of family-friendly activities going on here. Looks like we got some pet adoptions here. There you go.
The guys, they were trying to speak through some of the guys of playing with them.
Oh boy, look at that.
Oh, I know, the Frito bread.
Like a little, like baby smelling baby.
Yeah.
And I want to say that might be what happened.
There you go. Hello. I'm doing well. How about yourself today?
Good.
There you go. All right. Watch it. All right, so there's the tram car. With the tram car, there's a tour. And there's paths that you can walk. So you don't have to necessarily catch the tram car or the shuttle. You can walk the grounds. It's like 25 miles of total walking. So, all right. All right. Do I need? Excuse me, I got a quick question.
Yes.
I bought my ticket online. Do I need to show it to anybody or
Yeah, if
anything?
you just scan it right here, that'd be great.
Okay. Just gotta make sure I check in. All right. Yes,
And this is a map of where everything is happening.
Okay. Let me see. Yep.
Is it just you?
Just me.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you need directions or?
No, I'm gonna just do the tram car tour to start it off. And
Great.
all right. Well, thank you very much. Have a great day. All right. So just go in there, check your ticket in and everything, and now we're gonna head to. See, so here you go. You got the walking path that was over that way, the museum shuttle, and the garden tram. So you've got the narrated garden tram to the museum, express bus to the museum. So you got a lot of different options here. And you know, so you're traveling with people that can't get around as well. You got your buses, and out this area right here, this is where your drop-off zone is also. So you can pull in and drop people off right here, so they don't have to do all the walking. You can just pull up, drop them off, wait for the bus, do your check-in and everything. All right. So now we're going to jump on one of these tram cars and do the tour. I would like to get on that one that has the back seat facing out, the back way. That would be good. All right. It looks like that might be a special one right there. All right. The garden tram.
Right. There were 3 generations of DuPonts who lived here at Winterthur. So the last DuPont family to live here was Henry Francis du Pont. He's the one who turned it into a museum, garden, library, beginning in 1951. So you see we got some activities over there to our left-hand side. So Henry Francis is responsible for the large majority of gardens we're going to see along the way. August is known to be a little bit green, but we'll have some splash of color along the way. So to our right, these are called butter burrs. Butter burrs were used to preserve butter before the time of refrigeration.
Oh.
We have lots of ferns along the way, both on the left and on the right-hand side as well. You may be wondering why this place is called Winterthur. Well, the first DuPonts to build a house here were Evelina DuPont and her husband Jacques Bitterman. He was an investor in the gunpowder factory. So they built the first house here in 1839 and decided that they should name the property. So they decided on Winterthur after Jacques Bitterman's ancestral home of Winterthur, Switzerland.
Ah.
If you're ever confused on whether it's Winterthur, Winterthur, we prefer Winterthur, but you know, whatever you want to say.
There you go, we got license.
To the left is one of our first garden sections. There's about 19 distinct garden sections all throughout. This is called Azalea Woods. We have over 2,000 azalea bushes within the estate. This was really Henry Francis's one of his first major projects working here because he had a nice clean slate due to a chestnut tree blight that essentially wiped all the chestnut trees out from this area. So now we have about 3 different main trees that are all throughout the estate. So to our right we have rough bark of the tulip poplar, rough bark of the white oak, and then we have the smooth bark of the American beech tree.
That's the beech tree right there.
Those will be the 3 primary trees that we'll be seeing all throughout. So I want to point out this building that's going to be on our left-hand side here. This is called the 1750 house for that pistache up top that says 1750. It came from a house in Newcastle, Delaware that was built in 1750 and going to be torn down. So Henry Francis wanted to preserve a little bit of that history. Originally he had speakers in the building. He would play opera music all throughout the gardens. He was a big fan of opera music. It was eventually expanded and houses our HVAC system for the house, which we'll have coming up on our right-hand side here. So, I mentioned the first house was built in 1839. It was not this big. The first house was only 12 rooms originally. In 1902, Henry Algernon, so the second generation here, added the rooms that we see on the front of the house. So he took us from 12 to 50 in total. He was a state senator. He really wanted to show off his social status. That was also the Gilded Age. So there was lots of things like marble and gold throughout. Finally, our Henry Francis inherits the house in 1927. So between 1928 and 1931, he builds to the south of the house. He takes us up to 175 rooms. It's 96,000 square feet. We're still the 6th largest house in the United States today. So pretty impressive. Henry Francis wanted such a big house because his collection of early American decorative goods was getting so big. He knew he was eventually going to turn it into a museum. So I mentioned he did so in 1951. He collected about 60,000 pieces of the collection in his lifetime, and today we're close to 100,000. So we still continue to acquire great things. We have original Washingtons, all handmade American furniture, pre-1860. So if you have never gone through the house tour, I highly recommend it. Henry Francis's background was actually in horticulture. He had studied at the Bussey Institute at Harvard, graduating in 1902. Thank you. So the bank that we see to our right was his very first project. This is called the March Bank because you guessed it, it starts blooming in March. So the garden goes through a number of changes all through the year. We call it a succession of blooms because there are things that are constantly coming into bloom, fading away, and then something else replaces that. So we've already seen dozens of plants that have come in on the March Bank, starting with things like crocus and aconite. In March, in April, we'll have Italian windflowers, daffodils. In May, we'll have things like hostas growing into June and July. So there is something constantly changing all throughout the garden. It's also done in a wild or natural garden style, which is meant to make it look like a garden was not planted at all, that everything's just kind of growing in naturally, leaving the landscape largely as is. So this tree So this first tree we have right here is our Japanese cutleaf maple. It's constantly changing colors throughout the year, kind of shifting between red and green, also changes to sometimes a bright orange in the fall time. It also has a sister right out front of the visitor center that was moved there in 1974, just to complement the Japanese stylings.
How old would you say that tree is?
They don't grow very quickly. I would guess maybe 50 to 60 years. We acquired them more recently, than most things on the garden. But to our right is Magnolia Bend. So we actually still have a couple flowers hanging off of that saucer magnolia. It almost came into a full bloom about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And guess what? It's not supposed to bloom in July and August. So it was quite a surprise, but we like to see it. To our left, this is the Meadowlands section of the gardens. We have plenty of natural land areas as well. Looks like this one might be due for a haircut soon. We cut it maybe 3 or 4 times a year. And then we have here one of our hiking paths. So we actually have 25 miles of hiking trails throughout the entire estate. We're on 1,000 acres, so when we say you can't do Winterthur in one day, we really do mean it. You may have noticed some of those sand traps out there on that golf course. Henry Francis did have a golf course on the estate. He had a 9-hole golf course. He was an avid golfer, loved being outside. Supposedly he hit a hole-in-one on his own golf course. I just hope there were witnesses. These 2 trees to our left are called Sargent cherry trees. They were gifted to the DuPonts by Charles Sargent. So the trees were named after him. He was a very active arborist in the early 20th century. So he said they make it about 50 to 60 years of cherry blossoms on them. We've now been getting blossoms for over 100 years. So Charles Sargent suggested that the DuPonts plant a pinetum, which is what we see to our right. That was begun in 1914. So the pinetum's full of conifers or cone-bearing trees. It's lots of things like pine trees, firs, cypresses. We even have a redwood, which we'll see in a little bit. All that tree line all the way out in the distance to the left is Brown's Woods. So the hiking trails do extend out that way. Oh, we do have some hikers out there. So a number of the areas are named after the farmers who the land was purchased from. Essentially, the DuPont just kept expanding and expanding, buying up plots of farmland. So if you want to go wandering through the pinetum, I suggest starting here. This path takes you all the way through the pinetum. There's always plenty to see within each of the garden sections as well. They're constantly going through successions of blooms as well. But I would say some of the best times are in April when the flowering quince is in bloom, and then also in May because there's a number of azaleas that grow all throughout the pinetum as well. We're going to be getting very close to this tree here. This is our gold thread false cypress. So it looks like there's a number of trees that are kind of coming out from there. This is all one giant tree. It is a very big organism.
Ooh, look at that tree.
And then here is our redwood I mentioned. So this is a dawn redwood. They were thought to be extinct into the 20th century, but a grove of them was actually found in China. So of course, Henry Francis, he's a collector, he's a horticulturalist, so he brought 2 to the property originally. I believe we have 9 now. They are very quick growers, true to the redwood name. They grow about 2 to 5 feet every single year. And we can say that we have the state champion dawn redwood. We have the biggest and best dawn redwood in all of Delaware, so pretty impressive. We also have another champion tree on the property as well, tulip. So to our right, well, unfortunately we have some things going on with the garden, so it doesn't look that great, but this is the sundial garden. So this originally replaced tennis courts and croquet lawns that the DuPonts used. So this is actually a formal garden. There's only 2 formal garden sections on the estate, as opposed to that wild or natural garden we mentioned before. So this was designed by Marion Coffin. She was a lifelong friend of Henry Francis's, the only landscape architect that he worked with here at Winterthur. To our left, this is Sycamore Hill. There's plenty to see if you go exploring out that way. And we can't have Sycamore Hill without our sycamore tree. So this sycamore is thought to be somewhere around 250 to 300 years old. It gave us quite a scare in the 1950s with a case of core rot. So with that kind of eating away inside the trunk, the only way to get rid of it is to literally remove it all. Reportedly it was so bad the gentleman was physically inside of the tree trying to get all of it out. In order to make sure it has a sturdy base to stay up tall, we added about 15 tons of concrete in a railroad tie. It's a little bit of an outdated method, but it worked because it's still with us here today. This path to our left leads down to the quarry garden. There should still be some things in bloom around that area. We have a lot of boggy plants because we have a running water source right below it. There are more azalea bushes around us. We have a Chinese fringe tree on our right, and sometimes these Weigela get some late blooms, some little touches of pink in there. So yeah, there are a few little guys there. Hey, good morning. Yeah, this is the beginning of Enchanted Woods over here. I will be stopping up ahead for anybody who wants to get off. I'll let you know when. But Enchanted Woods was made in 2001, a place to give little kiddos a place to play, but no one's too old for Enchanted Woods. So we have things like a troll bridge. We have a watering hole that's being filled by a frog. We have a Mayday pole. We have a stone column circle. We have a winding serpent path. And we also have a toadstool circle where the fairies are set to play.
Yeah. Ooh.
Here we have some royal standard hostas. The white flowers, they smell exactly like honeysuckle. I'll be coming for a stop for Enchanted Woods right up here. Do I have people who are planning to get off and go have some fun? Perfect. All right. Feel free to go ahead. All right, have fun, everyone. Okay.
Are the tram cars the only vehicles that come to the Enchanted to drive up here?
Yeah, otherwise you can go to the galleries and walk up from the gallery. So it's essentially the path that we're going to be going down.
Oh, okay.
It's a way to walk up. So we have a number of azaleas in this area. Nothing that's giving us any late blooms though. There's a lot of pretty pink that's out in this area. To our right, you'll see a little banister up there. That is the Icewell Terrace. So underneath is the ice well where the DuPonts would cut giant blocks of ice and store it in sawdust and straw to keep into the spring and summertime. Up above, there's a number of picnic tables. It's almost always in the shade. It's a lovely spot to have lunch. It also served as the original parking lot for the museum when it first opened as well. So to our
there's
right,
the reflecting
that
pool.
path leads up to the koi ponds. That's one of my favorite areas to walk around. And then here we have our reflecting pool. Definitely head over there to check out the lily pads that are in bloom. This was originally the swimming pool for the DuPonts. It was the first private heated swimming pool in Delaware. They had like a steam system underneath of it. On either side are changing rooms. If a guest didn't bring a bathing suit, the DuPonts had you covered. This enclosure that's closest to us actually had more speakers, so Henry Francis could listen to his opera music even when he's poolside.
Of course, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he?
And then we'll get a view of the east side of the house, but it's not exactly a great view. That's what Henry Francis intended. He wanted this to be all about nature first. He didn't want the house to stick out. There's actually 9 floors to the house, and the lowest floor we can actually see is the 4th floor. So 1 through 3 are essentially completely underground. Even the canopy of the trees is over the house. That's what Henry Francis wanted. But this is our East Terrace garden, so this was also designed by Marion Coffin. This is the second formal garden that we have. You see a giant hydrangea in bloom over there. It's very pretty. So this was designed in Italian Renaissance style, which was becoming very popular in the 1920s, 1930s, along with the colonial revival. Marion Coffin had gone to MIT. She was in one of the very first classes that included women, graduating in 1902. She did work in about 50 proper gardens throughout the United States, including work nearby at Gibraltar Estate, also at University of Delaware as well.
Whoa. That's a little bit of a resume.
So this building to our right is our library and research building. It is named the Louis DuPont Crown and Shield Research Building. In our library, we have well over 1 million items. We have about 30-some thousand rare books. The earliest book we have in the library dates back to 1450. We also have the Winterthur archives there, so it's all the personal effects of the DuPonts here at Winterthur, so things like letters, diaries, day books, all that sort of thing. So it's neat to kind of look through, even workers on the estate as well. They needed a number of workers here at Winterthur because they actually had a working dairy farm. So here is our cow underpass on the right-hand side. Dairy farm would have been up top that hill there. So Henry Francis had Holstein Friesian cows. They were some of the biggest and best. They were known for their breeding heritage, and Henry Francis won a number of awards with them. They even set a record for butterfat content for Holstein Friesian cows. So DuPonts like to do everything basically the best. We're now wandering out. Oh, I see that hawk. Let's see after we get past this tree. Yeah, there's a big hawk down on that branch over there. Usually we get some red-tailed hawks in this area. But we're wandering out towards the natural lands area of the estate. We'll be stopping right over top of Clenny Run. So going back to the 1800s, very important to have some source of running water. These yellow flowers we have in there are called Indian cup plants. Supposedly the leaves serve as cups for bees so that they can get water. As I mentioned, being a country estate, the DuPonts wanted to be as self-sufficient as they could. So out to the left here is our East Farm and East Barn area. As you can see, we had some hay that was cut recently, and then we have contractors that come through and bale it for us. We use it as feed for basically the estate and the gardens. At the East Farm, they had a butcher's house as well, so they're trying to grow their own food. They had about 100 head of beef cattle, 2,000 units of poultry. So roughly they had somewhere between 200 and 250 workers on the estate at any one time. We also have a retaining pond here for Clenny's runs because we use it to irrigate parts of the garden and parts of the estate. To our right is Duck Pond. Sometimes we have some turtles who like to hang out on these logs, so let's see if we have any out right now. No, I don't think I see any quite today. That's all right. But all the ponds you see on the estate are actually man-made. There are no natural ponds here. The only local running water is that Clenny's Run. up this way, the DuPonts had about 10 acres of vegetable gardens, and they also had their own orchard as well. At its height, Winterthur was about 2,600 acres. Today we sit on only 1,000 acres. So one of the places that land went to was over the fence to our right. That is Wilmington Country Club. That's where some of the land went to. And then as I make this turn, so we can eventually turn around. If you look out past this house, the tree line all the way out in the distance is a part of Brandywine Creek State Park. So that's the other part where the land went to. Henry Francis wanted it to go to places that were going to be kept natural, not be built up on. He wanted to ensure that the nature was preserved there. This house that we see is the former trainmaster's house. So the DuPonts had a railroad that went through the estate as well. Henry Algernon was president of the Wilmington and Western, so of course he put a stop right here at Winterthur. He used it to bring in coal and cattle feed onto the estate, and then he also used it for their mail. So mail was typically transported via train. We actually have a post office right here on the estate. We have a long history of having only female postmasters or postmistresses, even to today. Alright, so we'll make our way back towards the house. It may look like some people are living over there at the former trainmaster's house, and there are. That is where our electrician lives, who works for Winterthur. Full-time Winterthur employees are eligible to live on some of the houses we have on the estate. Since the DuPonts had 250 workers, they provided a number of housing for them. There were cottages for the herdsmen. There was a clubhouse where they enjoyed playing bingo and other activities. So this was basically a small community or small village here. Everybody very tight-knit. There were some families that had 3 generations of family members that worked here to go along with those 3 generations of DuPonts. We have a number of bird boxes strewn throughout the property. Those are for eastern bluebirds. We always have 2 attached because eastern bluebirds are very territorial, so typically a different species settles in. If you look into the water here, we have a number of buoys that are in there. Those house freshwater mussels, so freshwater mussels do an amazing job of filtering water. Each one can filter about 12 gallons of water a day. What we do is we grow them from when they're a little small till they're about 6 months to a year old. Then we actually put them into other waterways throughout Delaware, keeping with Henry Francis's wishes of keeping nature pure and better than he found it. We see a folly up top there of Sycamore Hill, and then we have the quarry garden that is right next. We have a bunch of geese that are hanging out there. The quarry garden was the last garden section that Henry Francis worked on here at Winterthur. I like to put everything kind of into perspective at this point. So Henry Francis was born in 1880 right here at Winterthur. So when he was born, we still only had a 12-room house. And then he died in 1969 right here at Winterthur. So he died at the ripe age of 89. Henry Francis gardened for essentially 80 years here at Winterthur. His mother had taught him how to plant flowers and do things like that. In 1956, Henry Francis was actually awarded a Medal of Honor from the Garden Club of America, thanking him for all his contributions to gardening and horticulture. So yeah, up here we have our dairy farm area. We used to have a much bigger barn, but it actually burned down in about 1931. Apparently the watchman was not on duty. The person who alerted the estate that it was on fire was actually a pilot. He saw it from the sky and landed right here on the property and alerted everyone of what was going on. So they did rebuild it, but it was about 1/3 of the size bigger. The barn we do see to the left there is our test barn. So that's where they would test the fat content of the milk. As I mentioned, they did set a world record for Holstein Friesian butter fat content, made for some amazing ice cream. Then in the winter time, the workers' children would actually sled down this hill, aiming for that little cow underpass.
Nice.
Do they have any animals now?
We have sheep and goats that are actually up front by the main entrance, and we work with the, I believe they're called green bank, so they come here and do demonstrations. There actually is a, I believe it's a wool to yarn demonstration, I believe is what it is, over at the Brown Center, I think. I don't know the exact time of that, though. So we're coming back to the library now. We have a conservation lab within that, the top 3 floors. It is a world-renowned state-of-the-art conservation lab. Henry Francis actually started a master's program partnering with University of Delaware in 1952, so only a year after the museum was started. And that master's degree is in conservation and decorative arts, so he's even looking towards the future generations and how they're going to treat these objects. This building we have here in the middle with all those glass windows is our Campbell collection of soup tureens in the Dorrance Gallery. So there's some 200, 300-year-old soup tureens, some pretty neat ones. Some are shaped like animal heads and the steam comes out of the nostrils. Some were even made for royalty, so definitely go check it out, even if you're not a soup lover. This building to our right is called the Galleries. So this is included with everything today. There's a number of exhibits for you to walk through. One of them is Outside In, which kind of highlights the nature-related objects in our collection. As I said before, we have close to 100,000 objects in our collection. And then another interesting exhibit that we have is called Almost Unknown, an African-American picture gallery. So it was written by a free black man in the 1850s who was imagining what a picture gallery for African-Americans would look like. We make that come to life with our objects in the collection. Oh, that is Bubbletopia going on over there. I was excited for that one. This building to our left is called the Cottage. So the Cottage is where the DuPonts moved to in 1951 after the museum opened. Downgraded just a bit from 175 rooms down to 50. Is anybody planning to get off here for the galleries? I will be stopping just next for the house, do the self-paced tour. Come to a stop right here. Yeah, there's plenty of activities to do here at the galleries too. Yep, this is the galleries.
Thank you.
All right, you're very welcome. Everyone enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
So next stop will be the house. The museum store is right here in the cottage as well. We even have plants for sale normally. Some actually are cuttings from some Winterthur plants as well. So have a little piece of Winterthur. For reference, for the house museum, that white tent is actually where you come out, you exit from the self-paced tour, but that would have been the front entrance for the DuPont. So when guests were coming to stay with them for the weekend, they would be dropped off over there. So let me come to a stop right up here. Then anybody who wants to get off, please feel free to.
So do we do the whole tram tour and then come back to the house?
You can get off here. You're not going to miss a whole lot. Or the other thing you could do is you could wait here for the next one. It's running every 15 to 20 minutes, and then you can kind of catch the end. Yeah, or well, you would get off at the gallery. So if you want to hop on somebody's at the galleries, then yeah,
Down
you
at
could
the
do
gallery,
that.
get on?
Yeah.
Every 20 minutes?
Yes, this is the self-paced house tour. So you just follow that path on the left there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah, we're only like up around the corner, so there's not a lot more for the garden tour.
You're empty.
Yeah, that's typically what happens. Yeah.
Are you gonna keep talking?
Yeah, I have this gentleman with me. He wants to hear all the info.
Yeah.
So yeah, up these stairs here up to that area is the peony garden. It was originally an iris garden, but Henry Francis changed it to peonies. Mrs. DuPont's favorite flower was peonies. Coincidence? I don't know. This is the coach house. So this would actually be the oldest building on the house. It predates, on the estate. It predates even the 1839 house. Because of course, when you had coming here on like a horse and buggy or whatever it may be, then you need a place to store that, even if you don't have a house. So.
Right. It's like a garage.
Yeah,
The
essentially.
parking lot.
So
Yeah.
we have our greenhouses up over that way. There are close to 30 greenhouses up in that area.
Wow.
And then you see where that American flag is? That is actually where the post office is. So it's open Monday through Friday to guests. You can see some neat antiques, see the garden, and then mail whatever you need to mail.
Oh, so it's an actual functioning.
Yes,
Oh.
it's fully functional.
Oh, wow.
All the way out in the distance past this tree line, that's where the cutting fields were for the house. So the DuPont had 4 acres of cutting fields. They would bring tons of fresh flowers into the house every single day. Sometimes rooms would have as many as 20 bouquets in them.
Wow.
And then out in that distance, we have Armour Farms. I believe Armour Farm was not actually purchased until the early 1900s, so they were still expanding even through the 20th century. All right, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for sticking around.
Yeah,
I would have been
thank you.
I would have been lonely.
Well, thank you so much for a great tour.
I hope you liked it.
Brandon, that was amazing. That was so educational. So that was Winterthur, named after a place where the, let's say, founder was from, how they added on and everything. So much to do here. I only came for 2 hours today. You can come and there's a lot of different things to do.